What's up, everybody? Well, today I'm here to bring to you another vacuum that's in my vacuum collection. This time it is something you're not really used to seeing that much on my channel. So what I have for your viewing pleasure today is this factory rebuilt Kirby Classic 3. And yes, this is a factory rebuilt model. I will show you the sticker when this thing was factory rebuilt. So I would expect this thing has to be at least 77 or 78. I'll have to look at the date tag to confirm that. But I do know this is a later style Classic 3 because it has the cord hooks on the left side of the handle instead of the right side like the early ones have. I do have another Classic 3 that has that you guys have seen a video on. We'll link to the video in the description of this video if you haven't seen that one. But anyway, what made me ended up getting this one was, one, I never had any example of a factory rebuilt Kirby, but why did I get another Classic 3? Well, one, it's a later style one with the flipped around cord hooks. And also I like the way this looks with the updated disposable bag system donated from a Kirby Legend 2. And it actually fits pretty good with the Classic 3 color scheme. So that's just one of the two reasons. So enough of that, let's go ahead and give a walkthrough of the machine. So part of the factory rebuilt process, the whole vacuum was completely gone through, everything was replaced, but this was rebuilt not in today's standards, so it definitely has a little bit more attention to detail than what Kirby would have done today. But it does have the updated top handle. If anyone remembers, the early Classic 3s had a very skinny handle design. My other Classic 3 actually has it. And this one is honestly much more comfortable to use, and it's a little bit more sturdy built than the other one was. And as you can see, this does have an updated cord that is in very good condition. I do like it that it's red to match the Classic 3 color scheme. It's too bad Kirby no longer reproduces these kind of cords, because the only replacements you can find for these are black now. And as you can see right up here, this does have a disposable bag conversion from a Kirby Legend 2. It's got the Legend 2 M-Tor, Legend 2 outer bag, but it still retains the Classic 3 bag topper and trim ring around the M-Tor. So that is one very nice touch of detail. And this has this interesting kind of texture in the handle label right here on the front. So coming down here, we do have your headlight right up here. You also do have an airflow relief valve, which is something you only see on older style Kirbys. They had some, I think, on early model Traditions, but they eventually discontinued that. And as you can see, this one was replaced with a clear one instead of a red one that they would normally have. It's not a major deal. And so here is your belt lifter. You do have a nice viewing window to monitor your belt life, which is kind of nice. So to twist the belt, you just simply rotate this counterclockwise to loop the belt off of the shaft. Then you pull up this little latch to release the floor head. And this is how this comes off. And right here, let me let me just release the belt momentarily. Here is the original brush roll that came with. This is original as far as I can tell. It is a single row brush roll with one set of strips right over here, then another set of strips right here. They are soft, but don't let the single row of bristles as well as the soft bristles fool you. This thing has amazing agitation for what it is. I would argue to say that these things perform no different than a dual row brush roll would. But this is the original because this does have sleeve bearings and it's not the ball bearing brush roll. I'm having not too really good luck with the ball bearing brush rolls lately. I bought a new one for my other Classic 3 and it showed up defective, and I literally swapped it with my Tradition to confirm the bad brush roll. Hopefully I can get away with just re-greasing that and maybe that'll take care of it. But these old genuine Kirby brush rolls are definitely something. Although Cleveland Wood definitely does make great products. I will admit that. But you just never see them made like this anymore. So there's that. So now let's go ahead and loop the belt around. And now let's take a look at the fan. This does have the updated white plastic amodal fan, which is way stronger than the gray plastic Lexan fans of the time. And although this will never replace the tried and true metal fan that all you Kirby purists like to have in these old things, and granted, I would like to have a metal fan in one of these, but for time being, this white plastic amodal fan works just fine. Besides, you can get these for so cheap. They may not be as strong as the metal fans, but they're definitely stronger than the gray plastic Lexans. My Classic 3 is a great plastic Lexan, and I really need to find an excuse to replace it one of these days. But anyway, right down here is your speed selector switch. You just slowly press it down once, and then if it's pressed down any further, the barely pressed down, it will activate the low speed for carpet cleaning. Push it down even more, and that will activate the high speed for hose, which unfortunately I don't have the hose. I did at one point when I bought my other Classic 3, but that hose was so badly dry rotted that it was literally disintegrating on me, so that hose is pretty much useless. So that I may have to source a replacement for in one day, but for now I'm okay with just the vacuum itself. Okay, let's attempt to get this latch back on. Come on. Okay. Alright. Let's keep the belt on the shaft. I like to give this a couple turns to make sure it catches. And there we go. And here's the serial on the side here. Not too sure how to tell the year, but I want to say this has got to be at least 77 at the oldest and 79 at the newest. So if anyone can give me any information about that, please let me know. So moving along the back here, we do have your handle locking tab right here. You just pull it over to the side right here, and you can use it to pretty much go only as low if you have like floor threshold, but also if you lay it all the way flat and with some persuasion slatch it over like that, it'll lay completely flat for storage, which is a very nice feature. It is pretty finicky at times, but not a major deal there. So now let's take a look at the bag system on it. Having the Legend 2 outer bag, it does come with the later style twist connect fill tube, so you now have the capability of running modern HEPA filtration bags for increased filtration, which is quite a must. And these filter way better. This is just amazing, having this bag in here. And originally, these Classic 3s only came as a shakeout bag, so that was at a time when filtration wasn't really cared for as much. So this definitely helps with both filtration and much more convenient way to pack the dirt and just store it away. So right down here you have your carpet height adjustment. It is a 6 position per Kirby standards. You will notice that the wheel axle has been updated to a later style. As you can see, the foot controls are a little bit different, kind of similar to what the G series use. But this is the G series of, I think, the late 90s to early 2000s, because it doesn't have any of the smaller and larger circles for height adjustment. So I like it that it actually has the metal slots. And the rebuilding of the time, they did also change out the wheels. Your power switch is on the back here, typical Kirby style at your foot. And now let's get to showing the factory rebuilt tag. So this is a Kirby Model 2CB. There's the serial number once again. And the rebuild date is 06/00, so June of 2000 is when this thing was rebuilt. And it's 120 volts, 60 hertz. These cleaners, to my knowledge, I want to say have a 6 amp motor. I could be wrong on that, but I do know that my other Classic 3 has a 6 amp motor, as well as my Tradition, which was the successor to the Classic 3 model. So yeah, 6 amps is what this thing possibly draws. But I think I've pretty much shown about as much as I can for this thing. So now let's go ahead and get to the part you guys have been wanting to see, the turning on and running of this. So now let's go ahead and release the power cord, which beautiful, genuine Kirby replacement that was red at the time, so that is nice to match the color scheme instead of the generic black that Kirby now sells. That they started getting cheap in the remanufacturing process. But anyway, let's go and plug this guy in. And now we will go ahead and turn this thing on and give you a demo of you guys running. Typical Kirby, power switch at your foot. So, here we go. Just listen to how smooth it runs. It just sounds beautiful. Better than my Heritage 2. So let's go ahead and adjust the carpet tile. This thing runs exceptionally smooth. This was definitely made in a time where you had to have quite a bit of strength to use one of these. This is long before Kirby made a self-propelled drive system with the tech drive they would introduce in the Generation series that followed. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video on my factory rebuilt Kirby Classic 3. Be sure and stay tuned, and don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.